Okay, I'm trying to be quiet because Hubs is asleep, as are most of you. Hello, Australia. Hello, New Zealand. I'm laying in bed watching Archer and reading transcripts to try and keep up with this fluid situation. And I see this, and I just had to come out here. First off, I'm not an awareness channel. If you're new to my channel, I am a crazy lady who used to sit on a couch last year because she busted her foot and was in a cast. I'm probably going back in the cast at some point, but for right now, I'm catching up on a lot of physical work that I needed to do. But I still try to keep up with what's happening on TikTok. Unfortunately, that includes Gabby, who I wish would stop having drama. Why can't she be more like her sister right now and disappear? This is crazy. Tonight's been a whirlwind. She's been on more than she's been off. Okay. So something came up this evening, and I'm not going to speak on the girl who was having problems because, as a paid advocate, Gabby did all the wrong things that you would do with someone who is depressed and contemplating ending their life. Okay? You have to go through training to do that kind of advocacy. If you're a very good friend, yeah, you probably could help somebody. The words she chose, the giggling, pushing it off till tomorrow, all the wrong things. You don't do that to somebody. Thankfully, it sounds like it resolved itself, but be looking, she has 3 phones. Be looking up the hotline on one of your phones so that you can have it at hand. Okay, let's go through this quickly, okay?
My book is based on my childhood trauma, how I was raised.
Okay, so it's about her childhood trauma and how she was raised. So that sounds pretty bad, right? That doesn't sound good. Childhood trauma implies something bad. Let's just make it simple here. Bad. Okay, next.
My book, I'm writing. I wrote a book, and it's going to be released on Saturday. My word. It's about my childhood and my childhood trauma and how I overcome it. And then it talks about me and Aaron.
I hope your editor was good because overcomed is not a word, okay? Overcame. You overcame something, not overcomed. Boy, I hope that isn't in the book. Okay, so once again, childhood trauma implies something very bad. And then you have her life with Aaron. Don't mind the kitten. Next.
Know that location. So 70 chapters. 70. Go back. It'll be good for you. The editor didn't get a copyright. How many pages? How many pages? It is 70? 60, 70?
So the editor didn't get a copyright copy, and it's 70 or 60 pages. Or was that chapters? Because she said both. Considering chapter 5 had 5 sentences, I'm going to say it has 70 chapters. I'm sorry, chapter 5 had, did I say that right? It's late. Chapter 5 had 5 sentences. I hope I said that. Would you be quiet back there? Look at him back there. Look at him. He is just being a little butt. You know your jingle balls go away at night. No, that makes Papa upset. Really sad we have to put the jingle balls in the fridge at night. Look at him, he's looking for them. Next.
Damn, so if 1,000 people buy it for $12.99, that's close to $13K. And guess what? Everything that you guys like the book that you guys are gonna I'm putting that towards a lawyer. That's gonna help me so much. I give something to you, you give something right back to me. I get my book out there, I get money, I raise me for a lawyer. I can do this. God works. Like there's something going on here. I'm gonna get my story out there. The news lady wants to freaking cover my story. It's excellent.
Why is her belly button wet? Did she get it pierced recently? Is she oozing? Because there's no other wet spots. Just her belly button, and it looks like a belly button ring. Does she lotion it? Okay. She gets giddy at the prospect of money. I don't think it's about a lawyer, but you know, I keep saying this is a very childlike situation in her head, in that it's all about win-lose. Gabby win, everyone else lose. Gabby right, everybody else wrong. It's very black and white. It's very, she has no objectivity and no self-reflection. Most of the time when people are approaching a lawsuit in their head prior to going to an attorney, in your head you think over, could I have done anything to provoke the situation I am in right now? You think of the pros and cons. You write down a list. What could have been perceived that I did wrong? Not if you believe it, just could somebody have felt I'm wrong at something? If you're being told you've done something wrong, you write that down on your list. And then you look for examples of that to make sure you haven't done those things. But Gabby doesn't think that way. There's no critical or abstract thinking process whatsoever. I blame that on her grandma for pulling her out of school after 4th grade. That does such a huge disservice to a kid. Maturation stops. Socialization stops. There's no conflict resolution skills. That's what junior high is. That's why junior high is so hard. You're in that age range between being a child and dependent on someone and being an adult. You're testing the waters of independence. And that's how we grow and mature. If that is taken away from a child, they don't have the capability of handling conflict resolution later in life. And at the same time, you need to have if you're going to homeschool, you have to have a very strong home unit that works well. Everybody has a dysfunctional family. I mean, come on. Ozzie and Harriet did. That dates me, doesn't it? But they were reruns for me. The thing I'm trying to say is if your family just yells and screams and someone slams the door or walks away and the conflict is never resolved, a child doesn't see it being resolved, being talked out, then they believe that's the way to behave. I don't know. My ex and I never once argued in front of the kids. Not once. Not once. As aggravating as it was, there were times where we would go outside. We would go make kindling. We would chop wood. We would throw rocks in a pile. Whatever. We did it out of earshot, and we always included something physical. And not in the sense like we were throwing the rocks at each other or throwing the wood at each other. Something to release physical energy and anger, like chopping wood or filling a rock pile, because we lived under a volcano, so we had a lot of rocks. And we had to clear out the backyard, and it was quite large, of rocks so we could plant fruit trees and rhododendrons and stuff like that. So it was a constant process. And so we would choose to do that and discuss whatever it was. Never raised our voices. You just don't do that. Unfortunately, I see this child living in a house that's loud anyway, and I blame that really on the tile floors. That thing's like an echo chamber. I would go bonkers. They have all the TVs going, they have the iPads going, they have the cell phone going, they have Alexa going. Geez, if they add the vacuum, I would go screaming out of there. It's just too much. But you have to be able to handle things in junior high school, in college, in university, because those are social skills that benefit you as an adult. And that's what I see a lot of these TikTokers missed out on. For whatever reason. I see a lot of arrested development, arrested maturation. And that's really unfair to them. And the ripple effect extends because now their children are suffering from it. And that's not fair. Life ain't fair, but these kids didn't ask for this to happen. And they don't know why their parents behave the way they do. That's just what they're raised with. So it's really this game with her about who's the winner, who's the loser. It's not about her child at all. It's really about her and her winning over somebody who's losing. Very black and white, very childlike. I just mean that analytically, okay, speaking. All right, the next one.
Will it have family pictures in it? I don't know if I can do that. Maybe. But I don't know if I could do that. Because it's my first time doing all this stuff, so I'm not really sure how this all works.
Wouldn't you check that out first? I've never seen an autobiography that did not include photographs. People want to read about a family and be able to place faces to the names. It makes it easier for them to understand the story being told in their heads. How is she doing this at the last minute? I don't get it. Well, this one kind of floored me.
All right. We're just gonna come up with a different title.
What?
We're just gonna come up with a different title.
What?
And we're just gonna move on. Just gonna come up with a different title. I'll figure it out. No.
48 hours to launch, and we're gonna change the title? Now, I hadn't heard what the title was at this point, but really? 48 hours, and you might still add some pictures? Wow. Okay, next.
I need a lawyer who I can... Anybody is a lawyer who can tell me what I need to do? You know what? It's okay. It's okay. You know what? It's okay. Because I'll just change it.
The title.
And when the time comes, when I get this lawyer, I am bringing all of them down, including Karen. So that's okay. This is okay. I have a screenshot of it. Fine. We're just going to move on. and I will handle it in fucking court with all of them. And that is when I'm just gonna deal with them so they can have their fun share. Because I am done. This is not okay. All right, Gabby, breathe. Shake it off. Shake it off, Gabby. Shake it off. Okay.
Back to the childlike argument. I win, you lose. We'll deal with it then. I can now see she has a procrastination problem. No, you deal with things ahead of time. If you need to change the title, you do it yesterday, not tomorrow, not later when you get a lawyer. And do we really think if she needs IVF, she's going to use the money on a lawyer? Actually, yeah. Yeah, I do. Because to her, winning, even a Pyrrhic victory, is most important for her, in her mind. Very juvenile way of thinking. She just wants money. She thinks everyone's making money off of her. I can tell you, if you disappeared tomorrow, those people in awareness land, they'd be making money on someone else. There is no shortage of scammers. Trust me, TikTok is scammer talk. That's it. Next.
My mom, yeah, my mom was so happy about that title too. My mom said that was such a fucking good title.
Is Mimi an English major? Was she an English major? Is she an English teacher? I don't know what Mimi does. She doesn't strike me as a teacher, but maybe she is. I would hope somebody who is good at English was assisting with this pamphlet book.
Raised, oh my God. That title fit my fucking story.
Okay, I still haven't heard the title. So it's...
God, please take care of these.
Is it titled Childhood Trauma to Bullies? And finally.
What's the title? The title is Raised by Love, Broken by Bullies, A Mother's Fight.
But you said it was childhood trauma. Raised by love implies good. That implies something good, then too bad. Raised by love is good. Broken by bullies is bad. And a mother's fight doesn't end it. There has to be a flow, almost like a geometric wave, to a title. A title has to flow. I can't wait to see where the semicolons are going. And you told us a couple times it was childhood trauma. So that implied bad. So it was childhood trauma filled with love? I'm confused. Okay, and to end it, let's listen to her reasoning for this title.
Yes, it says all in one title, and I'm happy for you, girl. It's Raised by Love, which is my childhood trauma. Then in the middle of it, it's Broken by Bullies, which in the middle of my book, I was broken by the bullies. And then now I'm trying to fight. So a mother's fight.
Okay, so the way she explains it, raised by love is not a good thing. It's childhood trauma. And then broken by bullies is something that happened, as she implies, in the past. And now she's trying to fight So this is an unresolved issue that you're writing about. Most people write autobiographies with an end cap, okay? An end, a chapter end, problem resolved, life resolved, whatever, mystery resolved. Yours is left open-ended, unresolved. So, where is your advocacy? What are your points to, as you say, teach others how to handle things when you are in the midst of the fight? Trust me, I'm not hating on Gabby. I'm approaching this from a literary sense. I loved English class. I used to take extra English courses every semester because I loved it. And English is an exact science. Languages are sciences. Everything is basically a science. This is unresolved, and you have no tips to give to others. All you want others to do is listen to your story, to listen to your life so far. Your problem with the bullies has not resolved. This week proves just that. So why should people listen to you when you haven't gotten the upper hand on it? And the upper hand is not getting an attorney and suing people. That is not the upper hand. The upper hand is living your life, as you would say, bully-free. I'm afraid that this book is going to come out. And much as even I, with my little book, have joked about it, because it's insipid to think at 33 you have enough experience in life in you, behind you, to write an autobiography when you have achieved nothing. Yet, let me put that in there. You have not yet achieved anything. I'm afraid she's going to publish this book, and true reviews are going to come out. Because remember, we've heard the book. We heard it pre-ChatGPT, but it's not going to be much better. And I'm afraid she's going to read the reviews and sign it off to just haters. It would be interesting to send some copies or ask some true literary reviewers to read it over and get their opinions. Because I can tell you it's not going to be pretty. And I'm afraid for Gabby. If people were truly supporters, they would tell her to stop. But all she has is a bunch of yes men on the same intellectual level. And that's sad. There's nobody, not even in her family, to tell her to stop. And much as people may dislike her or rag on her or whatever, it sucks to see someone get embarrassed publicly. Of course, she's not going to see it, so I guess I shouldn't have the secondhand embarrassment for her, but I think it's going to just be, she's going to wish she never published it. Okay, I'm going to bed. Toodles.